Gotta go up at all costs. I pray to God that I don't fall off. That's the reason that I never call off.
Hey guys, welcome to the latest episode of the podcast. Today I have my good friend Kwasi from high school. Um,
Um,
we were friends back in high school at Mac. Same biology and math class, right? Um,
yeah, that was
so
tough.
a lot of good memories in that class. So I'll let Kwasi give you guys a brief introduction about himself.
Hi guys, my name is Kwasi. Like Nick said, we both went to William Lyon Mackenzie together. Um, After high school, I went to McMaster, not only for kinesiology but to play basketball. I'm in my fourth year, and there's been a lot that I've taken away from it on and off the court, and I got one more year left. And when this Corona stuff hopefully settles down, I'm gonna be ready for it.
Yeah, you're gonna be the next Andrew Wiggins. Get signed by the Raptors.
You never know. Haha. Never know.
The man's a fucking snake. Goes to gets traded to Golden State, other side of Toronto.
Yeah, no, they took him as soon as they could because they need all the help they can get.
Yeah, everyone there's injured right now. Everyone's
Yeah,
limping in. But yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm not gonna give out my address, and I'm not gonna give out his address. But like the guy grew up near where I live, just like a
Hmm.
couple of houses down. So during the summer when he's at home, like he'll drop by our place, teach my younger brother and his friends how to toss the ball and everything. He's a really chill
Hmm.
guy, but I'm still mad that he didn't even ask Toronto to take him in.
Yeah, he just wants that time away from home.
Yeah.
Spread his wings. Spread his wings.
But yeah, so I just wanted to ask you a few questions about basketball itself, or like your experience with it. So first question would be, how'd you get in?
In terms of how I got into Mac, well, like we went to Mackenzie, but McMaster. It was kind of a crazy thing in the sense that it was never a clear path for me. As long as I started playing from like grade 9 and everything, like even my coaches like didn't think I'd be able to play post secondary, but I'd have to force myself to work really hard, whether it was the summer or like mornings in the school. By the time I got to my fifth year, like that was the first offer I picked up just because all the work I put in just started to gradually like it was like an exponential increase in the sense that like everything I did like in grade 9, 10, 11 just added up to that. And I ended up getting my first offer or like interest to go to U of T. And then a month later, I'm at a tournament and I remember it was a Leaside. No, it was a Central Tech tournament. We were playing Leaside. I had 20 points by halftime. I hit like 5 threes and I didn't play the rest of the game. And then a guy comes up to me and says, "You ever heard of McMaster?" And I thought he was talking about a cheeseburger because just I was just like uneducated dude, you know, and like just tells me to look into the school and I started researching their program and I like it, but average is too high. So I remembered like that second half of my fifth year, like I just had to study extra hard. And like I remember getting the bare minimum, like 88 on the dot just so I could get it. And by the time I decided I wanted to go to the school, it was like 2 days, no, it was like a day before the actual quick accept. Just kind of battling with the decision with my parents a bit because they want me to stay home. But by the time 11 like 50 p.m. hits and I have 10 minutes where I was like, I'm not even going to uni, like I finally decided McMaster. Then it was funny because right when I confirmed McMaster, I get another email saying I have by 3 p.m. at the next day to confirm my residence deposit. So then it was a whole nother day of stressing and calling everyone. But ever since then, like I haven't turned back, and I'm happy I took that risk and took that jump.
Yeah, I think a lot of my audience as well, especially my degree, they got into it because a lot of them didn't really have that option as well. But
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people actually would relate to you in that stress that are listening.
Yeah,
But
thanks.
yeah, I just wanted to ask another quick question about the sport itself and like bring it to the theme of the podcast. So you say you have a kinesiology background, right? Or you're studying kinesiology. So you would be
Yeah,
able to so you can talk a bit about like the nutrition and the exercises that you would do, right?
yeah. I'd say I understand that like a fair bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, like during the season when you do play, what kind of workouts do you do for training for the games and stuff?
Well, the way our team is structured, we basically train like year round. Like if it wasn't for this, like the corona epidemic, I mean pandemic, we would have been training like 2 weeks after our season ended, basically, or like a month after, and then we'd be going all the way in summer up until like our season started. So we'd go really hard in the off season, like workouts like 3, 4 times a week on top of daily basketball workouts. In season though, because of how hard we practice in the off season, how many games we have, how hard we go in practice. In terms of lifting, it'd be 2 times a week, but then the lifts would be like a little bit less intensity, just so we're not overloading our bodies. Because with lifting, it's almost you want to push your body to adapt and grow, but if you go past that limit, not only is it going to mess up your performance, it's going to increase your chance of injury. So in season, it's more about maintenance than getting to that next level, because that's what the off season's for us.
Yeah, you start either you get DOMS or like God forbid you tear something, you don't want to be limping down the court.
Hmm.
So I would assume that you guys do more explosive based strength training, right? So you wouldn't do more like deadlifts, but you would do more power cleans, and then you would do more box jumps instead of like pure squats and stuff. So
Um,
how would you work out like as opposed to I'm a power lifter, so I wouldn't know too much about what you guys do. So
mm.
what would you guys do mainly in terms of a workout? How would it start?
Well, actually, I've had a different strength and conditioning like coach for it's changed almost every year, and each of them have a slightly different philosophy. Some of them thought, oh, you just gotta get jacked. Other ones thought, oh, like cardio is like a bigger emphasis. But the guy we have now, this guy named Zach, he's really experienced, and with him, he's telling us basketball is such a versatile sport that you have to work on everything. So our workouts are pretty diverse. We definitely include like every kind of movement you could think of. We're doing RDLs, we're doing squats, we're doing rows, we're doing lunges. Like we're doing like pretty much all the basics. And core is really emphasized because in basketball, just if you have a weak core, it kind of doesn't let you use that strength. And in a game like basketball where you're getting pushed around, if you have a weak core, if you're trying to go up for a rebound or a layup or a dunk, like you're not getting up anywhere if you can't handle some resistance. So I'd say we definitely do cleans and everything, but not to the extent that you might think. It's more for us just building that all around strength and stability. And then in the summer, it's more so explosive. But yeah, definitely all around though.
Yeah, I noticed you guys like when it comes to like muscle size, like I'd assume that for you guys being heavy isn't on the list of what you guys want to do because like when you go out and jump up to a 10-foot net or something, you want to be heavy so you don't get pushed around, but you don't want to be so heavy where you can't jump or you can't run, and that becomes a hindrance, right?
Yeah, there's like a fine balance. Like I don't know how well you know Dragon Ball Z, but do, do you know when Trunks and Vegeta were training and then they just got like really big, but they were really slow, and they were
Yeah,
like super Trunks and super. Yeah, it's like you don't want to do that because then you're not really mobile. You're not. You could be strong, but then you're not even really getting up the court. And conditioning is such a big part of basketball. So it's definitely about finding that balance. Maybe Super Saiyan 2,
yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
yeah. I was actually listening to a lot of stuff out there, and like all these guys that go in pure strength and are super jacked. I think it was Nick Best. He was at a chiropractor, couldn't lift his arms past like here, like he couldn't
Yeah.
get his arms straight. So yeah, these guys are tossing kegs 30 feet into the air, but like if you ask them to like reach something 10 feet, like their arm doesn't go past 90 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
Uh, yeah, so another thing is I've always heard that 80% of your like fitness is nutrition. You watch your diet,
mm.
you're basically set 80% of the way. So for you
Mhm.
guys, how much is a nutrition play?
Oh, when I think about me and my whole team in general, like I say some guys for sure definitely try to take their diet serious, but I know for the most part, like a lot of us eat like more junk food than we should, to be honest. But I know for me personally, the main thing I try to do is have a healthy breakfast because we have morning practices. So I know that if I want to have a good practice or if I want to get a good start to the day, like I'm gonna make sure I have cereal. I'm gonna make sure I add a side of like cashews because my nutritionist told me like one of the easiest ways to just get adequate protein in your day, like quick tip, just add cashews or like yeah, probably cashews just to your cereal just because it doesn't really affect the taste or change it that much and it's just so much protein and healthy fats to start your day opposed to like frosted flakes with just sugar. So that's a quick little life hack. But I definitely take breakfast as serious as possible, and then everything else is kind of I'll cook pasta and eggs a lot because it's a specialty. But I like do eat out and stuff a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, with that, like just going into a bit more depth about that, how many of you guys actually like sit there with like a piece of paper and like count all your macros and everything?
I don't think a lot of guys on my team do that. I remember I had a point where I tried to do that, wasn't really working because I just eat a lot, and I just felt like it just felt like a lot to always write things down all the time. I know for me though, it got to a point where I'd want to set a limit on how much times I got fast food. So if I went to like Quick Chick or Subway or something, like 2 days in a row, I'd be like, okay, nah, for 3 days, like just gotta cook for yourself and stuff. But yeah, no one guys really counted their macros and.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing that I saw in my powerlifting team. Like half the guys there, including me, would be like, "Oh, hey, powerlifting, as long as we get in our 4,000 calories a day, like just to replenish our muscles, we'll eat whatever we want." So I was there
Mm,
eating like 2 or 3 burritos for lunch. Kind of shameful, but
gee,
that's yeah. When you gotta lift, like you feel famished after like just going there and lifting. But like, and then you got like the
mm,
other guys who are like weighing their protein shakes and on scales and stuff, and like counting to
mm,
the gram every and like to the calorie of what they were eating. So like, I think it's a huge thing with athletes where like it's always such a bipartisan.
mm.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so a bit more into that would be so how did you keep like a nutrition based plan for the team on a budget? Did you get funding from the school or was it all out of
Well, we don't really get a budget from the team or money to really pay for food and everything. I know I got a scholarship, so indirectly, aside from student housing, it's helped me a lot. But for the most part, it's aside from like the meals we get after games or if we're traveling and the team feeds us, it's like really up to us. So I found that making sure you're doing your groceries because if you miss that Tuesday grocery special or you miss that one slot in the week to get groceries, you're pretty much eating fast food for the whole week. So it's just things like that where you really gotta make sure you're getting all your ingredients just so you can actually cook when you're at home or else like pizzas steal a lot of money from you, you know?
yeah, and I think it's on campus it's even worse as well. Any place that still has Airmark. I know at my school they a slight 2 slices of pizza at an any regular pizza costs $5. For us, they charge
Mm-hmm.
$7.25 for that exact deal.
It's crazy.
So yeah, if you're eating like I know Max in a small area, like the campus itself is big, but like nothing really around it. So
Mm-hmm.
you have no other option to spend that 7.25 at school.
Yeah, so it's you're trapped sometimes. Well, there's some good restaurants around, but it's just yeah, if you don't get groceries, you're buying something. So,
Yeah, how like I just want to ask like how hard was it for you like when you knew like you had to go get the groceries, but like your body was all aching? Like how did you manage like keep the motivation to
um,
like just not?
I remember in to not give in. I'm gonna be honest with you. In second year, when that would hit me, I wasn't working. I just like I didn't have a job I was balancing too, so I could like be on my bed for like 30 minutes and then be like, okay, let's go. You know, when third year came, like I would kind of do that, but I could just feel it going down gradually. Looking back on fourth year, it was like maybe it was because I was working and made more money and because I had a job and I was like doing more volunteer stuff. But if I didn't feel like getting the groceries that day or I was like I could use a nap, I would. And then just the fast food was just or like even if it was healthy fast food I was trying to order, like I gave in, I won't lie. But the weeks I could manage and the weeks I could force myself to get up, eating pretty healthy for those weeks. But other than that,
Yeah.
still,
Yeah. So
mm,
and so I know like probably all your games and everything were canceled due to the quarantine, but like they're gonna get picked up as soon as this gets lifted. So how are
mm.
you keeping a workout regimen at home?
Oh well, right now our strength and conditioning program implemented this thing called the Marauder Fitness Challenge. So to compensate for the people who like have to stay inside or live in apartments who can't even go to their backyard and run and everything, they've accommodated. To the people who have the big houses, they've accommodated. But the whole thing is they built home workouts for us to do 6 out of 7 days of the week. And you track your score based on how many workouts you do. If you FaceTime your teammate or text them during a workout, if you like post a video of you doing the exercise. So it's a way to keep us accountable and a way to try and keep us in shape because we all know there's gonna be a little bit of gains we're gonna lose just because like even with powerlifting, it's just there's a principle of specificity in the sense that like if you're not training the specific things, like if I'm not running 94 feet, like I'm gonna struggle a bit. So they're just doing the best they can to make sure when we get back on the court, like we'll be a bit prepared or our bodies will be a bit kind of in shape because yeah, we don't know how long this is gonna last.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you need to make it really specific as to what you're doing. There's only so much you can do as a in basketball or in powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I'm pretty sure you guys can't practice like box jumps. Like half you guys are like 6'4" and taller, so like your ceilings will hit the head. Or like your head will hit the ceilings every time you try jumping.
Mm,
Um,
depends on the ceiling. I get what you mean though. Get what you mean.
yeah, and like probably when you like dismount off the box, it's like the your people in the that old man underneath you in the apartment's like settle down up there.
Yeah, no, I used to in high school. I used to just practice dribbling in my apartment, and I remember the lady under me just came upstairs and she was furious. Yeah, it was Robin Banks' mom. So like that was funny. That was yeah. I don't dribble in my house anymore. Yeah.
Sucks to be in this quarantine, man. Like I got my own gym at home, but like it's not the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there like at when I was in high school when I first started it, like yeah, it was pretty good to work out on it. But nowadays, when I use dumbbells that, for bench press, like for dumbbell press that for one hand that are heavier than the entire weight set, like
Mm-hmm.
there's only so much I can do. Like I can't do like 50 reps of that bar
Yeah,
in one go.
because
So
mm-hmm. Because then yeah.
yeah, I wanted to ask you. I know a lot of people out there are looking for advice on how to keep up their healthy lifestyle at home,
Mm-hmm.
but like,
Mm-hmm.
but have no idea as to how to do it. So, as someone who does train professionally and also has that background, is there any advice you
Mm-hmm.
want to give to the audience, especially students?
Uh, especially students.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd say is right when you start the workout or you start to try and you try to start getting active, you'll feel a lot of resistance. You'll feel, oh, my desk is right there. Oh, my bed's right here. But the more you get into it, the more a sense of fulfillment comes in the sense that you're not only working to make your body stronger, but in these adverse times you have to stay home, you're going out of your way to take that effort. So I think you should kind of relish in that fact. And I think that'll speak for itself. But I also think it just comes from trying to set a routine because I know the hardest thing for people to do when they work out is just having schedule. I know for me, like before they started implementing these challenges, I found it really hard to get in my routine because I just felt like I was doing 100 push-ups one day, like 100 like I was just when you go on the fly, you usually don't stay consistent. So I'd even recommend going on YouTube and finding like workout channels because I know in high school I found this thing called Passion for Profession on YouTube, and like it was 3 days a week ab and chest workouts, and I stuck by that like pretty much all of high school. So I'd even say just going on YouTube and finding like even workout videos there because just kind of having that like structure is one of the most important things for consistency. So I just say find something to give you structure and consistency should follow.
Yeah. Well, so is there anything else you wanted to like add about these topics that you think my audience would find a bit like beneficial, like especially in these times? Because I know you're a student as well, so a lot of people that do
Hmm.
watch are affected are students.
Hmm. If there's anything I could add, I just know like I forgot who told me this quote, and I know I'm probably gonna get it wrong, but you just never want to be a victim of your circumstance. You want to be a creator of it. So when I even think of my workouts, if I would show you like some parts of my house, like just to do a push up, it's almost like Tetris where like I perfectly fit in and I can't really move anywhere else. But aside from having like limited space to do my workouts, not as much space as I'm used to in my student house, like I found a way to be productive at school. I found a way to get like all my workouts in. A lot of it's just you not letting your circumstances kind of put obstacles on you. You had to like really just force yourself to find a way. And I feel like when the quarantine finishes and you overcame all these kind of obstacles, you're gonna come out of it a stronger, more resilient person.
Yeah. And one last question I wanted to ask was, um, what plant? I know, we're at a younger age right now, so sports is definitely a option for us as a career. So,
Hmm.
in terms of what you're doing with basketball, what plans do you have for it in the future?
Right now for me, my main goal right now, it's kind of similar to Mackenzie. I remember with Mackenzie for my 5th year, I didn't know where I was going, but I just wanted to give my all and hopefully I could get somewhere, and it paid off. I know for my 5th year in university, I'm just gonna work as hard as I can, see where I could go, see if I could have the best season, and if I could play pro, that's what I want to do. But if not, I've kept my grades high. I've tried to be involved in my school's community, and I feel that I could still find a way to have a career in sports, maybe in sports administration or something. But right now, I'm just trying to be the best basketball player I could be for my last university season and see where that takes me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I remember I was talking with Mr. A while back as well. Like I
Hmm.
went to Mac once and I saw him, and me and Mr. A became good friends after that. But Mr. A has a lot of good advice for people like that because he was originally thinking of going pro a few times when he was studying,
Hmm.
and now even though he didn't get to there, he finds a lot of satisfaction in what he does now as a gym teacher.
Yeah,
So just being
and
satisfied with what you're doing is probably the best way for most people.
yeah, because you just want to give your all. Because at the end of the day, when you're older, you just don't want to have regrets. And even when I think back on Mackenzie, like winning that first championship for our school with Mr. A and like with the whole team and everything, that's something like I know I won't regret because we gave it our all. We made history, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, so thank you, Kwasi, for coming on to the podcast today. Um,
Yeah, no problem.
yeah, if people want to watch you play or anything, they can always come to Mac. Well, not now in the quarantine, but like when it's all fixed,
Yeah.
and they can
Hmm.
see you play in the ball games
Yeah, or they
and
could go on my.
Instagram, right?
Yeah, I got some stuff on Instagram. I had some YouTube videos mainly to see my progress, and I'm realizing in high school I've come a long way, but I want to keep those videos on just so I could see how I grow from the start to the end of my competitive basketball career.
Yeah. So your like in the description, I'll put a link to that so people can check it out.
Or just yeah,
And
even my Instagram profile.
yeah, they can contact you there as well. So yeah, Thank you for coming
Alright.
on, and that's the episode.